Hey guys, it's Sid here with svtperformance.com, and like I said, we're going to go for a little ride. I've got Josh here. I believe he tuned this vehicle, didn't you?
I did, yes sir.
And you used HP tuners. Of course, we got an N-gauge over on this side. I don't know if this camera can see it, but that's what we've got. We've got an 87 octane tune in a 7.3 liter, I want to say Power Stroke, but Godzilla powered gasoline F250. Again, tuned by 5-Star Tuning here in Florence, South Carolina. We're going to go for a little ride. See how it goes. I'm going to adjust your seat just a little bit here. No. Oh man, I like that. Manual seats. This particular model is an STX, so it doesn't have all the leather and junk like that. We've got old-fashioned cloth seats, which is the way I would order a truck like this, I think. Even though I have leather and fancy heated seats and all that kind of stuff in my 09 F350, if I was to order a new one, I believe I'd go for the cloth seats.
This makes it easy, man. You know, clean it.
Well, I live in South Carolina. Black leather gets hot in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have to give me directions to get out of here.
Just gonna take a right here.
All right.
We got vinyl in our other Super Duty. I like the vinyl one, like I said, until it gets hot outside, and then it's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. So one thing I can notice right off the bat, it's got a very responsive feel to the throttle pedal. No lag or anything, and I'm guessing if there was any kind of lag at all, you guys have that tuned out.
Yes, sir.
At this point.
From the factory, it was had a good little lag to it. Wanted to load the gears pretty bad.
Let's see, we're
gonna take a left out of here.
Alright. Now this particular model, like I mentioned, it's a STX. It is a 4-wheel drive, and it has 355 gears in it. Man, you know, that's just part throttle, and it's definitely not a slouch. It looks like it's holding the gears a little bit longer than you'd expect it to. Is that something you guys put in the tune to make it, instead of just wanting to jump up through the gears really quick, just hold a gear a little bit longer?
Pretty much, like, the more you get into the throttle, the more it's going to hold it. You know, if you get into it, you know, 25-30% throttle, it's going to hold to 3,000, 3,500, depending on where you are and what gear you're in.
It looks like you guys have almost 1,500 miles on it, and so you probably haven't had a ton of seat time in it yet, but you know, how much of that was tuned versus stock?
So far, stock between this vehicle, and we also have another trimmer 430 gear 7.3 gas Super Duty. But, we've probably got a total of 600 miles stock in them. But right now we're truly still in development with the shift pattern, power numbers, where we're going to be, but from an 87 standpoint.
Are we going north or south?
We're going to go northbound.
So I know you guys aren't ready to release the power numbers just yet, but you seems like it's a fairly good gain over stock, especially in the mid-range. It feels like the torque seems like it's peaking nice and early, but holding it out just in this little bit of driving that I'm doing here. And something I think everybody's going to be happy with. This truck sounds fantastic, even with the stock exhaust on it. I mean, it sounds like a proper V8.
It takes you back to your old school big motor. Yeah, I mean, that big block V8 kind of feel to it, you know.
Especially guys that would be coming from like a Coyote Mustang or something. Like, it's tough to get, you know, a traditional V8 sound out of one of those things, but this thing has it. 95 here, it's a little bit crowded. Yeah, you can sort of hear it's going from 45 to 5,000 RPM. Just part throttle. It's very, very responsive. And yeah, I love that big V8 engine sound. We're looking at like almost 450 cubic inches out of this thing. And I mean, this is really an engine that nobody expected any manufacturer to ever make it.
Exactly.
Did you ever think that you would be seeing, you know, a 7+ liter V8 brand new truck engine come out?
No, never would have expected it.
Especially from Ford, you know, they've only been going one direction with their engines, and it's been down in displacement for all these years.
Yeah, EcoBoost. Down.
You know, we had the speculation about, you know, what exactly this engine was going to be years ago. We had, I don't know if you remember that oil analysis sheet or whatever that came out from Ford, and it listed upcoming engines, and, you know, one was 5.2 cross-plane crank of the GT500, and that's what everybody got excited about. But then a few people noticed, well, what's this 7.3 engine? 7.3 gas engine in there. That just so everybody started speculating on that, and, you know, at the time I was like, well, it has to be something, an evolution of something they already have. Surely this would not be a new engine from Ford. So my theory was, if you take the displacement per cylinder of a 5-liter Coyote engine, but then add the stroke of a 5.4 liter regular tall deck modular, and then add 2 cylinders, I was thinking they were going to make a tall deck Coyote V10. That's because the displacement would work out to right at 7.3 liters if that was the engine combination. So basically a stroked out Coyote with 2 cylinders added to it, the tall deck block. So I just went through all that math and I posted that up. I was like, you know, this is just a swag, you know, stupid wild ass guess. Maybe this is what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And it got some people's attention. Well, one person's attention that it got was a guy I know in Ford, and he's like, nah, what if it's a pushrod V8? I was like, what? I'm like, no. He's like, yeah, it's a pushrod V8 and it's called Godzilla.
You never would have thought it, though.
No.
Ever. Not from Ford. You know?
No, I mean, this motor has to be the antithesis of everything everybody was expecting from Ford. It's push rods, it's a V8, and it's massive cubic inches. I mean, yeah, we could see it coming from Dodge or GM, but no. I mean, this is really Ford's answer to those bigger displacement pushrod motors from the other manufacturers. We'll take this exit.
Yeah, we can take this exit here. One big thing to note is that, you know, the 10-speed.
Oh yeah,
is super smooth. You know, a lot better than when they first come out. You know, with the 10-speed back in 17, it's way better in my opinion.
It's just, well, Ford's really good about that with their transmissions. I mean, evolving over the years. I mean, even just going from, you know, EOD 40 to 4R100, that was a big change. Then you get the 5R110, which is, everybody thought that was the greatest thing in the world. I mean, this thing can handle 1,000 pound-feet of torque to the wheels, and all day, every day, no problem.
You can stay on this road right on down if you want.
And then you get to the 6R140, and that thing is an amazing transmission. It holds a ton of power. And then the 10R140 is even beefier than that. So, I mean, Ford's really got their transmission designs locked down. I mean, they're really good at that. And the 10R80s can be everything from Explorer to Mustang, F-150, Ranger.
Yeah, they did a really good job with 10R80 in my opinion. They hadn't seen a lot of issues with them, really.
No. And it's amazing how fast everything is with that. I mean, that transmission shifts so quick, and it's just so much more efficient. I love my manual transmission, but you absolutely will not outshift that transmission, especially with a little bit of tuning from it. I mean, and you know how responsive they are to tuning as well.
Exactly. I mean, it's insane.
So, as far as, I mean, like I mentioned, you guys are using HP tuners and N-Gauge to tune this thing. Anything surprising you saw in the parameters that you're able to adjust on this versus, say, any of the, like a Coyote or something like that? Or,
well, I mean, not really. I mean, exactly what we expected, you know. It kind of tunes a lot like a V10. To be 100% honest with you.
Yeah. Fairly simple. I mean, you're not having to control timing on 4 cams.
Yeah, you ain't got, cam timing does nothing, it's,
which is weird. It does have variable cam timing, but, you're basically, you can advance or retard intake and exhaust together,
It's together, yes. You can go, you can retard it 3 degrees, 4 degrees. You can add 3 to 4 degrees.
So that's what. I mean, that was 70 miles an hour quicker than you would expect it to. I mean, it's...
For a 7,000-pound truck, it gets up and moves pretty good.
Well, that's the other thing is a lot of people might not realize that this truck weighs probably 800 pounds at least less than a diesel, maybe close to 1,000 pounds less than a diesel. Because it's not only that the diesel engine is heavier, you're carrying around 300 more pounds of exhaust, plus more pumps for the DEF fluid and tanks, and just, there's a whole lot of crap that goes into a diesel these days that this truck doesn't have. The video we posted earlier this week just showing off underneath how much extra real estate there is versus the diesel trucks. I was just thinking about the customer that would want a truck like this, and I know there's going to be probably not a ton of guys that convert from diesel unless they really don't need the diesel. I mean, if you're towing a lot, yeah, you're probably just going to want to stick with the diesel engine. But if this is, just sort of an occasional tow, the boat to the boat ramp on the weekend or something like that, I can see the gas motor being quite popular. And then I've thought really the market that the customer that would move into this truck would be somebody who's had a Coyote F-150 and wants just a little bit more power, or actually quite a bit more power and capability, and just to have a simple engine that can just go and without all the added expense of the diesel, the $10,000 upfront option price plus the maintenance cost is just brutal.
Well, that's the other side. When you get out, say you're towing, a 10,000-pound fifth wheel across country, the reliability of the gas motor, just that's where it appeals to me. So it's funny you mentioned that, because everybody always thinks of, what's the most reliable Ford diesel? It was a 7.3, and now we're back in a 7.3. 7.3, exactly.
This is probably going to be the most reliable Super Duty engine again.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's funny how things come full circle like that, but yeah, I mean, I could see this motor, it's simple. It's just going to work. There's not much to it. All the technology that's into this is stuff that's been around for 25 years. It's just proven technology. I mean, really, probably the most advanced thing on this engine is stuff that came out in 2005 on a 3-valve Mustang. You got variable cam timing on, a single camshaft plus an electronic throttle body. There's not a whole lot more than that. You got coil near plug, ignition, port fuel injection. She's big and simple and happy.
Yeah.
So, now I've been riding this thing around tuned and everything. So what kind of mileage have you been seeing out of it?
If you get out on the interstate, I run a little faster than most, 75, 76 miles an hour.
Keeping up with traffic.
Keeping up with traffic. 15.6 is what we're averaging right now. If you're towing, 7,000, 8,000 pounds, the same mile per hour, 75, 76 miles per hour down the interstate, we're seeing about 8.5.
Which is pretty much what you expect. I know a good friend of mine had an 09 V10 Super Duty, and that of course had the 5-speed, 5R110 transmission in it, and he would see at best 13 miles to the gallon empty and towing 6-7 miles to the gallon.
You can turn right here. The biggest thing is, we're still in development, but,
yeah.
So
it's only going to get better.
It's only going to get better.
And then true, like I mentioned, this thing has less than 1,500 miles on it. It could break in a little bit more. You could still see a little bit better mileage out of the thing yet.
Exactly.
Have you seen a whole lot of difference between this truck and the 430 truck that you guys have?
Not a ton, to be honest with you. Down low, definitely, you feel that the truck has 430 gears.
Yeah.
But from a steady state driving, it's really close.
Yeah.
You know.
So I've always been one of those people. I didn't figure that you would see a huge fuel mileage penalty for going from the 430s to the 355s, or actually the reverse of that, going from the 355s. So, you know, if I was ordering one of these trucks, I would just get the 430s, be done with it. I would rather have that extra grunt down low and in the mid-range that the 430s are going to give you versus maybe getting 1 more mile to the gallon, maybe.
Exactly. It's close. It's going to be in that range once we get done with development. I believe that's probably where it's going to fall, is in that 1 mile per gallon better.
Well, you know, and you know, the guys that are on svtperformance.com, most of them are interested in the trimmer package anyways, and if you're going to get that truck, just get the 430s.
Yeah.
It's like a $300 option. Just go ahead.
Exactly. It's not hard at all. And what I said, if I was going to keep this vehicle, this is something I was going to keep for more than a year or two for development. You know, because we buy all our vehicles for development. I would definitely put 430s in it.
Yeah.
You know, because I tow a lot. You know, I tow a lot than most average people on a day-to-day basis. You know.
Yeah. Well, that's my personal 09 Super Duty. It's a 6.4 Power Stroke, and it has 373 gears in it, and that was actually the last year you could get 373s in a single rear wheel Super Duty with a diesel. After that, even the 2010 models with the 6.4s, 355 was as steep as you could get. You can tell the difference between a 355 or 331 equipped truck and that one with 373s.
Well, the biggest thing with the trimmer is it does have 35-inch tires versus your 33-inch tires.
Yeah.
So, you know, your effective gear ratio isn't that...
No, the spread's not
that
much more.
big of a spread, you know.
But the kicker that got me is when you said, you know, you're riding around 74, 75, 76 miles an hour in this truck and getting, would you say 15 and a half miles?
15.6 is what I average.
15.6 miles to the gallon. You want to know what my Super Duty diesel gets for mileage? Right at about 16, 17 miles per gallon. And diesel fuel is quite a bit more expensive than regular gas. You're looking 50 cents a gallon more. Plus, I'm a good diesel owner. I put diesel fuel additive, you know, some lubricity additive in every tank. That's another $1 or $2 added on top. So, cost per mile has got to be way cheaper on this truck. Especially when you consider that it costs $10,000 less on the option, pretty much.
Exactly. I got validation here too on the 300-mile trip I just took to Virginia yesterday, or day before yesterday. I'm sorry. On that miles per gallon, if I can get it here. So, there's your 15.6.
Yeah.
299.
That's not bad. Not out of a 7,000-pound truck with a 450 cubic inch motor.
Exactly. That was huge. We were expecting, you know, when we were waiting on the vehicles to come in, you know, they were going to be a 12 to 13 mile per gallon vehicle.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of what you're used to expecting. I mean, the last time Ford made a pushrod V8 with this kind of displacement, you know, it was a 7.5 liter 460, and empty you would be lucky to get the mileage if this thing gets towing.
Yeah.
You know, times have changed, and you know, technology is a great thing, especially on these. But what I like is the level of technology that's on it is still simple enough to keep it reliable, but still give you the performance you're looking for, the economy you're looking for. It's a great setup for a truck engine. You know, I think they really knocked it out of the park with this one, especially with the truck they wrap it in. I mean, these new Super Duties are just built like tanks.
They are.
You know, the frame rails and everything are just massive. Everything's massive. Transmission. You can tell that these trucks are actually built to do some serious work.
They pull really, really well. Like I said, I was pulling mid 7,000 pounds back from Virginia, and I mean, one finger on the steering wheel, just relaxed.
Well, that's another reason why I think you'll see a lot of F-150 drivers with the, like, Coyote-powered F-150s. You tow hardly any at all. The Super Duty platform feels so much more stable towing than the F-150 platform does. You know, it just feels... Basically, it's when they went to the aluminum body and knocked 800 pounds out of the F-150. If you hook an enclosed trailer behind that thing with some serious weight, it will move that truck around, and it's not a super comfortable drive. Whereas, you know, this truck, it's you've got that extra weight that just makes it feel more controlled and just more comfortable to drive towing the load than a half ton. So personally, if it was me, if I was going to drive towing 5,000 pounds, I'd be buying Super Duty at this point. 5,000 more pounds, very frequently at all, especially if it's an enclosed trailer or anything that has a lot of windage. This would probably be the truck I'd be shopping for.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had a 13 EcoBoost and I had a bunch of 17, 18 EcoBoosts with the 10-speed, and towing with those with our enclosed trailer with a truck in it, it was, you knew it was back there and it was moving you, that's for sure.
Well, we're back here at the shop, and I think you guys knocked this one out of the park. Even though this is sort of like a preliminary tune, it feels damn good. Yeah, really responsive. You've obviously got it making halfway decent mileage for a big cubic inch V8. Yeah. Anything you'd like to say about it?
I mean, I feel real good about it. The tune took really well. I'm happy with the mileage we're getting so far. The shifting on it is smooth as butter. I mean, there's really no other way to put it.
Any idea when the 93 octane tune will be available?
We'll be back on the dyno probably tomorrow, maybe the beginning of next week. Right. And we'll be back in development on the 93 side, and then towing up the mountains we go.
Well, when that comes, time for that comes around, definitely hit me up. I'd like to be there and see what it does.
Heck yeah.
All right, man. Well, as always, head over to svtperformance.com for all the latest news, reviews, and information on your favorite Ford performance-related vehicles, and hopefully we can get more of this 7.3 engine. I would definitely like to see it swapped into a few things, because if it's great in this, imagine it in a Fox body.